Hello, folks, and welcome to Telling Tinder Tales, the podcast where the search for love often goes wrong, dates get strange, but the one thing we can be sure of is that we'll all have a good laugh about it. With me, Chris O'Neill, and this week we're happy to have Thomasin back again with us.
Yes, it's me. I'm back from taking care of my grandma. Thank you so much to Aidan for standing in for me. You did a brilliant job. Honestly, in my head, I was like, you're not even going to notice I'm gone. It's just going to be like, oh, it's another blonde lady. Her accent's changed a bit. But yeah, I think that's Thomasin. Sounds about right. It really has meant a lot to see how much you guys have cared. And you've just been really lovely whilst I've been dealing with that. So thank you very much.
Yes, it's great to have you back. How is your gran, or what's the story?
She's in critical condition, but I think a big thing for me was not just taking care of her, but also taking care of my granddad. And he, in fact, told me about their tale of how they met in their first date when we were there. So if it's all right with you, I would like to tell it.
That'd be lovely.
Thank you. So my grandparents were raised in Leeds. My grandma is now 87. Granddad is 91. And they were both in their local pantomime when my grandma must have been 15 or 16. My granddad was playing the piano and she was playing one of the maids, and he noticed her and thought, yeah, she looks gorgeous. And he actually then ended up going away with the RAF to do his service. And during that time, there was a lady in the picture called Sheila, and she kept writing to him, being like, I want to go steady when you're back. And he told me I just couldn't do it because I kept thinking about that beautiful maid in the pantomime. So when he got back, he asked her on a date. They went to the pictures, because back then he said, you know, there wasn't the pubs or bars to go to. I know going to the movies now sounds a bit cliche, but that was what you did for a date. But he said he was so nervous he couldn't even hold her hand. But I guess he got over those nerves because they got married, had children, grandchildren. I'm here. And when I asked them, you know, what is their long-running advice to get from first date to all those years of marriage, they said patience and a sense of humour.
Great to hear that story. I'm blessed that you've inherited those characteristics from your grandparents. It's really great. Thanks a million for that. And who have we got on this week?
So this week, to tell their tale, we have Stevie. Stevie, hi. Tell us a bit about yourself, where you're calling in from today.
Hello. Yes, I'm Stevie. I'm from Doncaster. I am a visually impaired mum who works in theatre as well as being a stand-up comedian. Excellent.
How many children do you have the responsibility for, Stevie?
2 that I'm aware of.
I'm assuming you'd have substantial awareness of any others.
Yeah, 2 that I'm aware of, 3 that I'm not aware of.
Well done for ignoring them, I say.
Yeah.
Well, I think when you're ready, Stevie, we would love to hear your tale today. The floor is yours.
Lovely. Thank you so much for having me. So my tale of woe and dating is bizarre. I'm going to warn you. So a long time ago, in my early 20s, I actually fell for an Irishman. It wasn't Chris. And fell head over heels. And actually went and lived in Dublin for a little bit, which was very nice. But he was very stereotypically Irish, and he did like his beer. And our relationship became, what's the word? I suppose the polite word is toxic. The impolite word is fucking shit.
Right.
And I ended up moving back to buying a house and moving back to England because he always said he would never move to England, and he followed me. Not like a stalker, but yeah. So we lived together in England for a little bit, and yeah, the relationship wasn't great, and I ended up being a little bit naughty actually, and he caught me getting down with it on our sofa at 3:00 Christmas Day morning. Yeah. So.
Oh
yeah.
wow.
Santa emptied his sack. Sorry. Yeah. And as you can imagine, I mean, Christmas dinner was delightful that day, but our relationship wasn't great. But we did end up trying to work things out and get back together, but we shouldn't have done. Aww. So we ended up split. Oh no, it gets better. No, it was the healthiest thing to do. But we split up, and I moved out of the house that I had purchased for 3 months while he got himself sorted, and moved back into my old bedroom at my mum's and slept on the floor for 3 months because I felt like an horrendous human being. And then I just got a bit fed up. I actually came to pick my post up one day, and he was in bed at 6 o'clock in the evening with the back doors wide open, cooking beef.
What?
Very bizarre. Yeah, that might have been the result of a Sunday sesh on the Magners. But yeah. So anyway, he ended up leaving, and he moved in with my gran, which was bizarre. And he lasted. Pardon.
What?
So go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. So we moved in with my gran. He lasted 2 days before I had to encourage him to exit and change the locks because he kept getting a little bit tipsy. My gran didn't like it, and so he moved out, and then we lost him for about 2 days. And I got this random sort of phone call from the local pub saying he's in the changing rooms asleep. So next to the pub is a football club with changing rooms. I went up. I think it was like Tuesday afternoon at 3:30. There were lots of kids about. And he was asleep on one of the beds, like they do the massage on.
Yeah.
When they'd get a poorly. And he was asleep. I think he was under some football strips. I can't remember anyway. My friend was with me, so we said, "Come on." I put him in the car. I took him to my gran's. I said, "Right, you need to pack a bag and get your passport." And we then took him to Doncaster Airport. Thank God it was still open then. And I booked him a flight to Ireland for the following day. So because it wasn't till the following day, I did book him a hotel room.
Oh, my God.
And I give him 20 quid and encouraged him not to drink it away. And then after that, he's now working for Jameson, I hear.
Wow.
But just to make that story a little bit more awful, I then met my children's father. And again, I mean, I am blind, but I think I'm deaf as well because they say love's blind, but it's deaf. It's definitely deaf. Anyway, so we again, 2 for 2 on the toxic relationships, and he is now currently living with my gran.
What?
So that literally if I ever do sort of go on dating apps, it's like, whatever happens, there is a bed for you at the end of it with an 85-year-old woman. Oh, I need to reiterate, he's living with it as a lodger, not as a sort of sugar mama.
Go gran.
So yeah.
Oh, wow.
I know. There's a lot to unpick there, isn't there?
Yeah, thank you for that story.
Indeed. Yeah. Can I just check? Do you call in regularly to see if your gran is well?
You
do? Okay.
I do, yeah. I went this morning to make sure she weren't dead.
Do you also call in to check there's none of your exes hiding out there?
I mean, I think they're starting a support group at this point. I feel like I am the common denominator, as they say.
That was a really fascinating story. You know what it reminded me of?
Yeah.
There's this game I used to play called Consequences with my siblings, where you'd have a template story and you'd add in nouns and verbs. And it felt a bit like you were reading one of the and then we found him under some football strips.
But weirdly, one of the reasons we split up is he it later came to fruition that he was a drug addict. So I went from an alcoholic to a drug addict. So I'm really looking out for a gambler now, because apparently if I get a full set, I get a free coffee. Because so never a sex addict though.
Oh my God,
that'd be nice.
No, trust me, it's not that great. But
Brilliant.
Okay, I have a question. You said you found him under some clothes in the changing room, and there were children around, right?
Oh no! Yes, sorry.
I'm sort of baffled as to how the pub became involved. Did somebody go in, and was he that well known in the pub that they knew you were his other half, whatever?
So I actually used to work at that pub when I was a lot younger. So it was our local, literally, over the road from the house. So he'd clearly been drinking in there, and then he wanted to get his head down. So somebody gave him the key to the changing rooms and went, there's a bed in there, go and get your head down. So the children weren't in the changing room at the same time. It's not, he's a different type of dodgy. So
No, I wasn't. I just had this image of children looking at this pile of clothes, moving a little bit and going, that's weird. And their parents not calling the police. That was the other thing. Yeah.
Well, no. So sort of on the way to the pub, the kids were coming home from school, so they weren't necessarily, mingling around the football club at that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I was very distracted at the time.
And Stevie, I have a question for you. So to preface, is it the first and only Irishman you've ever dated?
Dated, yes.
Okay, great. So I would like to ask, because I think that anyone who's dated, sort of outside where they're from, falls into this trap of, you date one Italian, you're like, Italians are all like this. And I'm wondering, have you fallen into that trap of like, oh, don't date Irishmen, they'll leave the back door open and eat beef all day. They're,
I hear it is a trait. No, not really. Not really. I mean, I've come to the conclusion that I've just got a horrendous taste in men. But as a 40-year-old single parent, I've got to get what I can get, Anna. So I can't be too choosy.
So you date an Irishman again?
I mean, whether they'd want to date me, I'm assuming the next bloke's just going to ask to go straight to my grants.
Yeah. We'll fast track this one to the grants.
Yeah.
What is it about her home that you think is so great for them?
I mean, it's cheap.
Yeah.
I mean,
cheaper than a B&B.
Oh, 25 quid a week if she likes you.
Oh. Can I
Honestly,
go there?
I'd love to. If it weren't my own gran and I sort of didn't have a massive distaste for her, I'd go and live with her myself.
Is that distaste based entirely on the fact that all the men who leave you move in with her?
She's a better option. No, just,
All right.
40 years of trauma.
Yeah, that'll do it.
I'll do it.
And I also want to go back to right at the beginning of your story, Stevie. So you said that you were caught on Christmas Day morning on your sofa being naughty. Does that mean you went on a date on Christmas Eve?
What, a date with somebody else?
Yes.
What do you mean? Oh gosh, no, not that prim. No, not that prim and proper. It was before, obviously, I had children, and we used to go and me and the gang used to go out and get very intoxicated on Christmas Eve around the pubs of Doncaster. And I thought it was a good idea to bring some Christmas cheer home with me, because he'd come home early and he was in bed, and it was the dog that woke him up to go and be let out. And there was noise coming from the living room, I believe.
And what happened when you were discovered? Did you tell the guy on the sofa, like, go to my grand's house, I'll talk to you later? Or was there like...
Yeah, that's the key.
Let yourself in. Or was there like a fight, or like what, like...
No, it was like, like an EastEnders Christmas special.
Yes.
There was like that moment for the
So for anyone outside the UK, EastEnders it's a soap, but it's the most miserable soap. And Christmas, the storylines at Christmas, someone's dying or cheating. It's just...
I mean, nobody got shot, so I think There was some shooting, but not. I'm sorry.
Wow, it might be the dirtiest joke we've had yet. That was quite. Yeah, that's quite something.
You mentioned Christmas lunch, right?
Oh God, yeah.
To be clear, I just want to be clear about who was there for Christmas lunch. Was the gentleman that you were involved with on the sofa still there, or did he leave?
Join us.
He left. We went to my grand's for Christmas.
Of course.
And my mum is
hostess with the
slightly terrified, and she came of Christmas Day, and our local pub is open on Christmas Day for a few hours. So he'd gone to the pub, and I'm sobbing, and she, but my mum still made us exchange Christmas presents. And we all still went to my grand's for Christmas dinner. Wow. It was like, don't mention the war. Yeah. It was very bizarre. And I genuinely think we still sat round and played Trivial Pursuit or some sort of game. It was, yeah.
Now that's not how it would have ended on EastEnders.
What, throwing cheeses at each other?
Well, that's why I think on the soaps they have the horrible storylines at Christmas, because it means no matter what happened at your Christmas, it's not as bad as the soaps. Yours ending in Trivial Pursuit and a cheese board is it's not bad. Is Trivial Pursuit like a universal thing, or is that?
Oh, it is. Yeah.
Stevie,
was that the encounter at Christmas, shall we call it? Right? Was that the end of the relationship, or did you soldier on?
With the Irish guy,
who walked in on you with the visitor.
Sorry, I'm laughing at how much of an awful human being I am. So we actually stayed together for about a year after, and it really shouldn't have continued in hindsight. But the following year, I broke up with him for the final time in Schiphol Airport after I'd taken him to Amsterdam for his 40th. I know,
hold on now. Sorry, roll it back there. You brought him. You've a bit of a thing with airlines on him, haven't you? But you brought him to Schiphol.
Yeah, we went to Amsterdam. It was his 40th birthday, so that was his gift.
You landed in Schiphol.
Oh, no, on the way home.
All right, that's fine. Okay. I thought for a moment, but on the way out would seem particularly cruel.
Can you imagine? Literally, like, seatbelt sign turns off. This isn't working.
Yeah, I give him 20 quid and said, go and have a good one.
So you flew home beside him in the airplane?
No. This is where you've got to give Ryanair a high five, because they don't sit you together, do they?
Yeah.
So we were literally at opposite ends of the plane. It was the relief when I saw that we weren't sat next to each other. Oh, wow. Honestly, I will never, ever slag Ryanair off.
Right, Ryanair know what's up.
Life-saving.
Okay,
sort of.
So the model for Ryanair is clearly fly the couple out together, fly them home separately, and then you're fine.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
Don't let anybody, don't for God's sake, tell Michael O'Leary about that, or there'll be a fee.
Yeah. Yes. Handling fee.
So if you think back to, like, I don't know, the first date with Irishmen, are there any, in hindsight, any, like, red flags on that first date? I
mean, we met in Temple Bar. That's
cliche. The flag. There, big red flag there.
What's Temple Bar?
Go on, Chris.
It's a sort of party zone in Dublin, really. And if you meet an Irish person there's something wrong with the Irish person.
I know that now.
It's because it's where all the hens and stags go.
Yeah.
It's so bad that many of the pubs ban hens and stags, but it's that sort of an area. There are parts of Nottingham, I think, that have a similar niche market for tourists. Yeah.
The other thing is, this is going back nearly 20 years when we first met. So it was still about £9 for a bottle of Magners then, and he was still sat in Temple Bar spending £9 on a bottle. Yeah, it's definitely a red flag. So yeah. It's but yeah, basically, so we met in Temple Bar, and I think, and we lived in two separate countries for 2.5 years, and we used to fly backwards and forwards. So I think it was sort of
right.
It was romantic. And then he got a season ticket for Man United, and I think I just became a base for when Man United had home games. I'm fully aware of my place in the relationship. Is I was an hour and 20 minutes on a Transpennine Express to Manchester Piccadilly.
Great.
Stevie, just to be clear, are you currently on, or are you thinking of using the apps of any sort, shape or size?
I mean, dating apps absolutely terrify me. I mean, I am blind. I've got a little bit of my sight left, and the whole preface of a dating app is to look at a photograph.
Okay.
And so that's the thing that concerns me is, I mean, I've not, again, from my previous experience, not done great, apparently, according to a lot of my friends. But it terrifies me. But I also think I would be the weird one. You know, like there's always...
Trust me, that's not
I would
true.
be the weird date.
We've been doing this podcast a long time. That's
you don't even
definitely
qualify
not true,
as
don't
close
worry.
to weird, no.
Yeah.
Nothing you've said so far is even on a scale of 1 to 10, it's about 5.5 or 6 on weird.
That's concerning. That is concerning.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, I had another question, actually. So you work in theatre, right?
I do, yes.
So I guess thinking a bit back to, how my granddad and my grandma met doing the pantomime. I guess, Chris, have you ever heard of the word showmance? Do you want to tell us, our listeners, what you think that is?
Yes.
I would imagine it's the sort of situation that arises when people are thrown together in a theatrical event. Is that reasonable?
Exactly. Often people on theatre jobs or TV shows, films, they basically they hook up, and then shortly after the project is out, they break up. It was just a showmance. Steve, have you ever had any temptation for any of that or experience in that?
Well, weirdly, I met my kid's dad when we were working on a show. But we carried on the relationship after the show. And I just ended up with an headache and 2 kids.
That you know of.
But yeah, we did. Yeah, because you do. You sort of, when you work in a show, you're constantly on top of people. Not physically necessarily,
on the sofa.
But you do. This is it. You work long days in sort of close proximity to people. Yeah. So I just don't. Do you know what it is? I just don't trust myself anymore. Not that I've got like a lack of restraint. I just don't trust my judgment whatsoever. So I'm like, I think I'd rather have a nap. If I get to the end of the day, and the dog's been fed and the kids are alive, that day has been a success.
Well, on that note.
On that note, exactly. Okay. Okay. So, Stevie, thank you for a startling insight into your life and relationships.
Thank you.
Right. So, Stevie, thanks for coming on the show. Any final thoughts before you finish up?
Any final thoughts? Again, I don't think I've got the skill set to even have a thought about romance. I would say, if nothing else, it has created a short podcast story. So I'm pleased for the last sort of 15 years of trauma that I've experienced, and also dealt to other human beings for your entertainment. So thank you.
Thank you.
We're
you
very
very
pleased
much
at
for
that
coming on.
decision. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Stevie. And thank you, listeners. Help us keep growing as a podcast. Give us a like, a follow, a subscribe, whatever you need to do on the podcast platform you're listening to us on to keep us going. And most importantly, give us a review. It really makes a difference to an up-and-coming podcast like ourselves. Give us 5 stars. If you give us 5 stars, I will take you to Stevie's grand's house. But if you give us 1 star, I'll make you play Trivial Pursuit there. And also tell someone about the podcast. Do it the old-fashioned way. Tell them face-to-face. Next time you find yourself at Temple Bar and a horrible hen do, turn to someone and say, I know the best podcast out there. So we'd also love to hear your story. Get in touch at tellingtindertales@gmail.com.
We've got a live show coming up in Dundalk on the 25th of April in Untoyne. For those of you who are listening in the UK, that's in Ireland. You can travel. There are planes available.
You can follow us on our socials at Telling Tinder Tales for updates and details.
So that's it. Goodbye from all of us. Let's say goodbye, folks. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye. Stevie.
Oh, bye.
Telling Tinder Tales is hosted and produced by me, Chris O'Neill, and Thomasin Lockwood. Produced and edited by Lucy Regan, with music by Kinkas Moreira. It's a Jester's Comedy Dublin production and is no way affiliated with or endorsed by Tinder. If you have a story to tell, please get in touch. Details are in the show notes. And if you like us, instead of swiping right, follow us on Instagram and or TikTok at Telling Tinder Tales.